At the end of this video, we are able to make this web application which has ability to delete the note, and we can also add some note and search accordingly in a very interactive way. If we want to add note, we can write it here, title, description and submit button, then it will add it in our node. Okay, so this is our web application. We can also search in a very interactive way. We are using Node.js for backend and Appwrite for storing the data, and for searching purpose we are using MeiliSearch. Okay, we will cover all the things from very beginner friendly way. If you don't know about Node.js, Appwrite and MeiliSearch, I recommend you can follow this video. I will be cover everything. You can see here we can search in a very interactive way. Okay, by going to this URL, we can download Docker Desktop for our operating system. Okay, the next step is to go to the installation documentation of Appwrite. Here we will get the command of our operating system how to install it. So I am using PowerShell, so I can copy this command and go to the PowerShell and paste this command in my PowerShell. To run this command we must have Docker Desktop installed. Okay, it is running on the terminal. Here we will choose the default value by pressing enter to all the steps. Okay, we will press allow access to continue. Here Appwrite installed successfully. In this topic we are learning how to use Node.js to create our web server in localhost with a very popular framework ExpressJS. Okay, so what actually a Node.js? Okay, Node.js is basically if you want to run JavaScript in your local computer, like local system, Node.js come into picture in this place. If you will want to run JavaScript into someone else computer or in your local system, Node.js will help you. And the main work of Node.js is to create a web server as well as locally, or if you will deploy it on some elsewhere. So for creating a web server or a server, it is very important for us to using Node.js. You can also use some any other technology, but for JavaScript, like we are using Node.js. Okay, so with Node.js we are using a very popular framework which is ExpressJS. It it basically make us very easy to make a web server with the help of Node.js. It basically, if you want to understand, it basically make our life easy to using the Node.js. And in this section, we will also use npm, a Node package manager. The package which are based on Node.js, we can use it by npm. Okay, so we will go to our local system and create a folder, name as project. Okay, uh, sorry, we will open our terminal, or open VS Code here. Okay, so we will open it with a code editor. Okay, we will open it with a code editor. We go to code editor, like I am using VS Code for this. Here you can choose open folder and go to desktop project, and here we go. Here we are able to open our project. Okay, you can open a terminal here by going here and new terminal. So our terminal is open. We basically check if we install nodejs or not. Okay, so using nodejs we must install nodejs. I have already installed nodejs. If you had not installed, you will go to this URL and install it based on your operating system. With nodejs, npm is got automatically installed, so you don't have to worry for npm. You will install nodejs, npm will install automatically. Okay, after installing you must check the installation by running this command in your terminal based on your operating system node version. Okay, it is giving me 18.15.0, that is fine, as well as, and okay, I messed up something. Okay, this is my npm version. Okay, so for creating any node project, we first run a command like npm init to initialize a directory from node.js. Okay, so after running, it is asking from package name. We will don't provide any input. Make it as simple as that, and and make it the default values. Like here, it is given project. Pressing the enter key, version as same as we will done with package name. Press the enter key. Description we will not provide it yet. We will basically press enter key to make our task simpler. Okay, it is asking for this is okay. You can press enter, and this here our package.json file is created. Okay, so for we will install node.js. npm is installed, but we will also install express. Okay, so the command for install express is npm install express. It will installing the express with the help of node package manager. Okay, after that we also made a file called app.js to write our backend code, so for by which our server can be created. Okay, so after that our node.js is installed, npm is installed, we installed the ExpressJS. The final thing we have to do to change the type of our project to module. Okay, by doing this we will use basically import keyword, which is basically good thing for us. Okay, we are using import keyword. We are importing the express. To use express we have to import this. To use our express we have to import express from where we have installed. Okay, so basically express is help us to create a app, and we will use this app to listen web server, post request, and get request, and any other thing. So basically for creating a app we will use const app and express, and calling the express, like basically the internal implementation. It maybe have a function which we are calling as by this keyword, so that is initializing our app. Okay, after that we also have to mention the port at at which our code matlab our means our backend or server will be created. Okay, so we will use this keyword const and the port variable to initialize the port. After this we have to listen somewhere so that our app will work. Okay, as we will know about the function, but there's something, it is an anonymous function. Like in the we know functions we will provide a name, but in this we are not providing a name, so that we are creating the function on the go where we are using it. Okay, so it is basically called an anonymous function. Here we will use console.log server is running at 3000. Okay, to run the node.js file like app.js, we will use this command node app.js. Okay, press enter. Here we are created our first server which is running on 3000. Okay, we will go to localhost 3000. What is this? We are getting this cannot get and this route. Okay, so basically this means for any website there is a home route, but in our code there is no line in our code to defining the home route. So if we want to use home, if we are able to get the home route, we will must write our code to get the home route. So we are writing our code app.get. Like basically if I am making this URL and pressing enter, it are making the get request. Okay, you can relate the get with I am requesting server to get something data. Okay, or if and another type of very common request is post. You can relate post with if I am submitting a form and saving up my data in the server, then it is can be related to post request. We will learn later in this. Okay, so app.get here, and as we will use anonymous function here. Okay, here this anonymous function take two arguments, request and response. Basically server based things, request and response. So in the response we will send hello world. Okay, so if you change any if you make a change in any of your file like app.js, you have to run your server. Okay, we will press the up arrow key and rerun it. Okay, we will go to our browser and make it. Okay, voila, here we will go and we are finding the hello world. Okay, so how we are finding, because we are printing this, sorry, sending this, and if we made a request, here must be this, then it is sending this hello world, and here we got hello world. Okay, basically if all this, here is our node.js server. Sorry, this here is our node.js server. This is our node.js server. This lines of code, it is node.js server. Okay, and the client, who is the client? This is the client. Client is requesting something, and here client is requesting something and server is sending something else. Okay, it is a basically pictorial representation what we are doing here. Okay, fine, but in web application we are not sending the text file, like we are very used to send the HTML files. Okay, To first to sending the HTML file, we must create a and we can also resolve this by stopping the server by pressing Ctrl C and rerun it. We can also install a very popular package which is known as nodemon. It will check our app.js file and restart the server as it detects any changes. Okay, we can run. Okay, if we will change anything like this and save, it will restart our server, so we can save our important time. Okay, so we will create a index.html file like this. Okay, here we will use a basic HTML template, and we are sending hello world. Okay, to send hello world like it is a file, we will use the keyword by this we will use the keyword send file. Okay, so send file, and we cannot directly send the file because we also define the path of the file. For this we have to import path, which is um, a module which is pre-installed with Nodejs. So we can import it from path, and we will create another variable here. This is this is this variable dial name uh, basically able to find the current directory or currently working directory of the file, so that we can easily get our path. Okay, so if we want to send this index.html file, we will define dial name plus in quote because string are concatenated by plus sign, and the file name html. Okay, as you can see, it is refreshing, restarting our terminal again if there is any change. If we go to a browser here, okay, we can decrease the size. If we make refresh, and here we go, it is a html h1. You can cross check if by weaving page source, here it is the h1 tag. Okay, so here what we are doing, let's see the pictorial representation. Okay, here it can be client, like in our previous example of hello world, we are interacting with client and Node.js send us some text, but in this we are getting some templates in HTML format like hello world. This is a template. Okay, so it is Node.js are currently able to receive template. Sorry, Node.js are currently able to send template to the client if the client request for something which is relevant to the template. Okay, same as from the client. So let's go to on the next step. Alright guys, our next topic is EJS. Like we are using EJS templates in our upcoming sessions. Like EJS stands for Embedded JavaScript Templating. Okay, in a layman term, I can explain you. In EJS means in HTML, if you want to use JavaScript, you can use the EJS template. It will enable you or it can empower you to use JavaScript in your HTML template. So here this is our backend code. So for using EJS, we will stop the server by pressing Ctrl and C. So for installing EJS means using EJS, we have to install EJS embedded JavaScript templating. Here, embedded JavaScript templating. So I can install it like npm install EJS. npm will automatically install it. I also want to install body-parser. I will explain you why we are installing body-parser, but I recommend you to install it right now. So you can also notice that I can write here I also do the same work as install. So you can also write I to install this package. Okay, so after installing the package, our first step to import it. Okay, after successfully importing the package, we will use this package to set up our project. Like we will use express.static and here give a folder name public. Okay, this will what it will does it will go to the public folder and check whether all the static file whenever server needed it. Like public folder contain the static files of our project. So we have not created a folder public, we have to create it public. Okay, we have created. We also need to create a folder views, not inside the public, just outside here. We are views for EJS template. Okay, so our next step 2, we will set our EJS template engine. We will use app.set. Okay, so by doing this, our EJS engine is set, and we will also use body-parser. I will explain we are using it, and we will extend it to true, also giving another parameter extended to true. So what we are trying to do in the we can delete the index.js because we don't need it. Okay, here public is empty, where is empty. Okay, in we will create index.html, but as we are using the EJS template, we can change it to EJS, but we can write as the code as we are writing it in HTML, like here you are noticing it. Okay, so here our HTML is written. Okay, we are sending the file whenever it is present. So what advantage are we are using if EJS or in we have files in view directory? We can basically use render like response sorry rest dot render. It is not a keyword, it will basically render the things inside the views folder. Like here I am mentioning index. We don't need to mention EJS because it will automatically render this. To check it, we will run our server by nodemon app.js. Okay, we will go here and see what is going on. Okay, hello world is still, because index.ejs we are writing hello world. Okay, so our server is working. So next step, we have to create the UI of our web application. So we also check if the styles, like styles, we have to integrate the style sheet in our HTML, because styles, without style sheet our UI will not be very good. So we will delete this firstly and create a new file, style.css, and link this here. Okay, and give, to verify it is working or not, we give a class name like heading, and in style.js we're writing heading, font size, I don't know, 60px. Okay, we will check it is working or not. Voila, this is working. It increased the size. Okay, so we are able to add the style sheet from this directory to public directory, and due to this two line we are able to do this. So basically why we are using EJS, you understand it. Okay, so I have write the CSS for the web application. So I am copying and pasting the CSS from there to there, so we can only focus on the important part of the our project. We and pasted our CSS. Okay, so we will go to the main file like app.js, and here firstly we will create the UI. Okay, so remove the h1 tag. Here we will create a div with a class name of header, it's header. Okay, here we will create a h2 tag with a class name of note heading. And this is basically for because I write the CSS, so we are writing the class name so that our CSS and this EJS file will merge and give us some beautiful UI. Okay, so it is a h2. We will also add some inline CSS so that it will work as we are expecting, like background color. Alright, we have written our index page. Okay, so here we are created a div with a class header. Here it is a h2 tag and a anchor tag, which are referring to the hash sorry, forward slash search, and here some is class name, inline styling, for the styling purpose. you don't make you don't think a lot of about this. And here it is a form which is a post form, like it is posting a method on submit. Okay, here you will notice on this it is a post form, it is posting the method in submit, and it is also contain division, inside division for the styling purpose with a class name. And here it is the input tag one, it is a submit. You can suppose it can be a button, and it is a input of type text with the name of title, description, and is a placeholder of this is, and it can be a class name for styling purpose. So we will go on the browser and see what it look like. After refreshing we will get this type of UI. Okay, but after submitting it is not, it is giving the error like post cannot post submit, because we have not written uh, the backend code for this. Okay, so firstly we will create our UI, then we will go to the backend thing. Like EJS template also supports, like we will include our templates to another template. Okay, so we are going to the next template. Okay, so here we can create another template just. Okay, so we will create a file here like notes.ejs. Here we will can create a file, and we can also use include syntax. You will find a lot of detail about it in the documentation. We can basically in, use this syntax to include the content of notes.ejs. By writing this, you can include the content of notes.ejs in this ejs file. It is the overview of the syntax. If you want to interested or want to learn more about this, you can go to the official documentation. I will give the link in the description. Okay, so I to go to the node.ejs file and write here our code for the UI. Okay, so for using for using JavaScript in EJS, you use this type of some syntax. Like we are considering our backend will response our data in nodes variable, like here nodes variable. So we are using for each loop, which is popular in JavaScript. You can read in the documentation which you can get online. And I am using here anonymous function, like function which take a note and print the title and the description, as we are making a note app in this tutorial. Okay, so each line we have to also do this. Okay, so for, as we mentioned earlier, for styling purposes we will write some div with class name so that our UI will be good. Okay, we have written our div for styling purposes as well as h1 with some inline CSS and class name for this styling purposes. So the main interesting thing here is using this syntax for using JavaScript and node.title. This is how we can get the value for each node and its title. Okay, and where we can get the node from here, and where this notice comes from the nodes which is provided from the backend. You can see whatever, you can see it in a good way when our code is running. Okay, so we will complete our UI code like this. Right guys, we are completed our UI. Okay, so it is a paragraph tag with a class name for the styling purpose as we are seeing before. Okay, but here is something like it is going the value from node dot description like here, but here we are using inbuilt method from substring. Just if suppose we have a 150 word of string, okay, so only we are getting the 100 word, and after we are adding dot 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 for node purposes. You may delete it because we are not able to like the full content of in the front page. We will also add some page to get the content. So it is only getting the 100 starting character and then dot dot dot. Okay, here we are anchor tag with class name for styling purposes. Okay, here are some mistakes. We have to remove this also. Okay, we have an anchor tag for styling purposes, but here we are using href and using this syntax to getting the title. If we want to read more about this, if we are also wanted to delete it, we can also use this node.title to delete this. Okay, we will see this in the UI how it is looking like. Okay, here are some errors. Include nodes. Okay, we have to see this. Okay, so basically we got the error because we have not closed this, because it is also part of our for loop, so we also used to sound this with, and also we can use HTML here like before, because we are adding something here. Here is this HTML tag, and after that there's no closing tag of HTML, so we can use it here. Then refresh our server from here. It will restart and again go to here and refresh. Okay, it is another error. It is showing nodes is not defined because we are not sending node from the backend. So we will fix it from our backend. So here, okay, here we will use syntax like node, and here nodes, but here nodes is a local variable which must be present here, so we will create a local variable nodes, make it let basically. Here title is title1 and description must be description1, right? Description. Okay, we will now go to this here and so on. Here we will get our description one, and here we will get our title one. Okay, as we noted, we will got dot 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 because we are getting first 100 word and dot dot dot. So this is not a big deal. If we will click on submit, search, read more, delete more, it will not work because we have not written any command, written any code for this. Alright guys, until now we have completed our UI, but it is not fully functional. It is not fully functionally. Like if we click on click, it will say cannot post submit. Okay, so if we first complete our submit post request, okay, we will start our code with like post. Sorry, here submit, because it is a submit route. Here we will mention our rect and res, which is an anonymous function argument, and here it is post for the post method and get for the get method, as simple as that. Okay, so here, so we have installed body-parser, isn't it? So how, why it is useful? Because it helps us to get the data from here. Like here is something title and this this, because here is something title and description, it is on our client here, like it is on our client here. But if we want to get sent back to the Node.js server, we will use this thing, body parser. It will help us to get the data from client. How we will get? By this code, like rect dot body dot the variable, the name which contain the name attribute in input, like name attribute is title and next for description. So here we will contain title and for next we will add description. Okay, here description, here is rect comma body comma description, because the next name attribute is description. Okay, so we will push this value in this array because it contains a list of data, so it is basically an array. So we will push our data in this push, and it also take the object in JSON form. So title is title and description is description. Okay, if we will also send a message like submitted. Okay, control S, server will start at 30000. That means we will go to here, refresh, nothing will happen, and here we will have a title and here description and submit. Oh, here it is submitted, and we will, if we go back and refresh our server, voila, we will go our, we will get our next card. It is very well designed because due to the CSS we have wrote, so it is a go next card. But there is some caveat, like it has added. But suppose if we stop the server and rerun the server, then we will go here and refresh. Why this gone? Okay, we are not expected our app to gone after we starting our server. This is happen because our Node.js server is basically able to interact with client and templates. It is not able to store the data which is received from client. It is basically storing the data in a local variable called notes. But after we starting the server, it will remove all the content of the node. It is showing this title and description because it is hard coded in this, but the data received from Kai is not saved anywhere, so it is not showing. To overcome this problem, we will use a database, and we will using the Appwrite database in this. Alright guys, our next step is to learn about Appwrite. Okay, so we will go into appwrite.io, which is the official website for Appwrite. Here it is written secure open source backend server for web, mobile and Flutter developer. Okay, so it is an open source backend server which help us to reduce our Deployment time, like it to provide us some functionality which we required in the deployment. Like if we have to create this functionality from scratch, this will take a lot of time. If we will use it from Appwrite, then our development time is reduced too much. So it will provide some functionality like database, auth and user storage functions, geo and localization console, privacy, security, and many more. You can read the official. It is also supported in web many programming language. Okay, you can read the official documentation from this URL. Okay, so we are basically using the Appwrite for database. Okay, so we will go to like something database. Here we will first install laser process. We have already installed it before, so we will like Appwrite databases here. Okay, so here is a database API references. Okay, so here we will there is a huge detail how we can use it on client, how we can use it on server. We are basically using it on server because this is our server code. Okay, so we are using it on server. Here is a huge and more detailed documentation how to use it. So I highly recommend you to go to this URL and read the documentation which is necessary for our project. Okay, okay, after installing Appwrite you will go to this localhost slash login. Here if you already sign up, you can sign in via this credential, or you can all sign up here like I am doing here. Okay, after signing up in Appwrite, you create a project called my note app. You can name it whatever you like. I am naming it so it is relevant to our project. Okay, so it is from web, like web name, my web app name. So like we can write the default value, host name we can do well. Okay, get SDK. It is SDK we will need to install in our backend file. So we will stop our server and install it from here. Okay, whenever it is installing, we will go to import this SDK in our file like here. Okay, we are importing this client from here. Okay, then after nothing, next. Okay, this is our client. This is our some init SDK code. Okay, we will use it over here. Okay, next. Okay, so it is the dashboard for it. We can create a database and we will call it notes. Okay, and we will use create a collection for it, like also call it notes, and we will create some attribute like the title, and it is a string like 220 no 125 size. Okay, and description, it also be a string like 256, yeah, 500. Okay, so we'll create it here, and after that our task is to integrate in our backend code. So here we are initialize our client in line 17 and set endpoint and set project. So we will go to the post. So we will remove this temporary variable for storing the data and this thing because we don't require it. Okay, as referred to the Appwrite documentation from here. Here's the code. So we have to copy this code and paste it over here. Okay, so our database ID must be this. We have to search for our collection ID. After clicking this, here it is collection ID. We will post it here and document ID finally. Okay, so for document ID we have to randomly create the document ID. Okay, so here it is written here it is here id.unique, for which we have to import id from Appwrite. Like we also need to create to import databases because we are using databases in it. Okay, like here it is databases stk new client. So we also have to import this. We have to import id as well as databases because we are using it here. It is capitalized. Okay, uh, here it is id.unique, and the data we will pass is title and description like this. title title and description. Okay, then here, alright guys, we will then create a const variable with a database equal to new database which we are imported from Appwrite. Okay, then we will go to the documentation of Appwrite and we will search for list document and copy the required code for our web application. Okay, after copying the code like this, we will go into our code editor and paste the code in the home route of our web application. Then we are required to paste the database ID and collection ID. Here we will get database ID, paste it there. Okay, as well as collection ID. From here we will paste it there. Alright, after pasting database and collection ID like this, we will go to here and okay, and remove this and make another const variable known as notes, and it will take the response dot document. because we are interested in the document part of the response, so we are getting the dot document, and we will also read more about it by printing it with the help of console.log statement like this. Okay, if we want to render this, like we will use rest.render index comma, we will provide the argument like notes from the nodes like this. We will also debug it by printing the value of the response and response dot document. Alright, here we will go and see there is a error. Okay, the main reason is we will also give the client argument to the databases. Okay, then it is working as we are expected. Okay, here we are giving title 2 and description. After pressing the submit button, it got submitted, but it is not submitted. It gave an error, and this error is related to the permission error. We can fix it by going to the Appwrite console. Okay, so head to over to the Appwrite console, go to notes, then we will go to settings, and here we will add update permission. Here we will add any with all the request create, delete, update and write. Okay, we will do the same thing as we are done before. We will restart our server, go to our front end and submit. It is finally submitted. We will check it. See, here it is printed the submitted data in the Appwrite. We will also cross verifying by going to this. Here you can clearly see it is submitted in the Appwrite database. Okay, so we will move forward. Okay, okay, as we are hard coded the title and description, it only show title and description. So we will go to the Appwrite documentation and fetch all the data. We will also copy this and paste this here. Okay, after this we will rest.render, but we are not returning the hard coded value, but we are providing the data which we are fetched from the Appwrite database. Okay, we will provided notes, but we haven't created it, so we need to create it. Like we will create const notes. Firstly, we will provide the database ID and the collection ID so that it will work as we are expected. We are copying the database and collection ID from the Appwrite SDK. Okay, we will complete this const note equal to response dot documents. Okay, so why we are response dot document is equal to node, because we will check it by printing it in console.log statements, console.log response and console.log response dot document, to see what is the difference between this. This is what I am talking about before. Okay, so get to the home route of our web page. From here Okay, the next card is also added. As we are affected, go to the console. Here the all the response and response.document is printed. Okay, so clearly see response.document contain the value which are required, but response contain additional information like total 2. We are not interested in this. We are also interested in the document. So we are using the response.document. Alright, you can see in the console. Okay, it is very self-explanatory. The response is this, and response.document is the document inside this array. We are not interested in total 2, so we are only considering the documents. Okay, this is how we can achieve the functionality we get. We can remove the additional log statements. Alright, we will go to our front end and we will try to submit something later like title 3 and description 3. When we submit, it got added to the Appwrite database. Okay, okay, we need this to achieve the functionality we want. When we submit, we got the value without refreshing the page, so we will copy and paste it here, and after submitting you see this is happening because we are returning the home route after submitting the data. So it is very self-explanatory. After adding title 4 and description, you see it is adding as we are expected because we are copy and pasting the same thing. Okay, read more is not working, delete now is not working, and search is not working. So we will write our backend code to make this work. It is pretty straightforward. We will start writing our backup code. We will close this up so that our code can be so simpler in looking. We will start writing our code like app.get. Okay, the route we wanted, here it is, slash post and delete slash colon title. Title, it is a like variable name from which the value which are passed from the client, like title equal to something which we will get from the URL of the client. Okay, so how can we use that? By this, like const query title and rec dot title. This is how we can use the title which are passed from the client. Okay, then we will proceed further and write some additional code like we will basically want this code, so we will copy and paste the same code from there to here. Okay, so this is basically for the delete purposes. So if we will get the item, we will check the query which the client is passing is available in the database or not, for which we can use like for statement. Okay, we will use for the statement and check each node's title. Okay, here we will use for the statement, change to nodes After that we will check if element.title equal to query title, because we are checking each node's title to the query title which we get request from the client. If it is, so we can delete. No, we basically, yes, we can delete this by firstly, for deleting anything we will let his id, document id. So we are storing the document id in the document id variable by this element dot id which we get from the Appwrite. Then go to the documentation and search for delete. So here we got the code. We will basically copy and paste this code to our code. So after copying and pasting and fixing the indentation, we will able to achieve the task which we are expecting to delete the. So we are expecting to delete the one document. Okay, so we will need database id and collection id. Also we will, in this case I also want to use document id to specify Appwrite to delete word document, which we will done by this copy and pasting. Okay, so I hope so our code is ready to delete, but we also cross check if there anything remaining. uh, is nothing remaining. Okay, I think so everything is fine. After deletion we will break the code, break our loop, so that it will not continue checking for this. After we got success we can break this code. We will also send a success message like success. So we will create a template in our view like success.ejs, and here we will just send a h1 tag of success. Okay, basically h1 tag of success here, h1 and success. By doing this, we after deletion we will receive a message of success. We will render this by this.render success. Okay, I think our code is very much pretty completed. We will go to the front end and refresh. We will go to the home. Okay, by deletion we will receive the success. If we will go back and refresh, voila, we deleted our node. So this is how we achieve the deletion of a node from the Appwrite database. Okay, we also have to achieve the build the read more route. So we'll go to the post slash title, which the title is same as the previous route. Okay, then we will have a callback function of this, and this we will get the value of title by this dot param dot title like in the previous route. Okay, you will notice that there pretty much copy and pasting in this, because we are doing the same stuff, but very suddenly a very small change is required. We are copying and pasting this as we are done before. Okay, let's go ahead. We also need to use a for loop here like in the previous case. Okay, it is not array, it is nodes, so we will change array to nodes. Yes. Okay, so if element dot title equal to maybe query title. Yes, it is query title. So we will just render our complete template. Okay, we have to create it complete.ejs. Okay, complete template with a variable whose value is element, the current document, so that we can print the title and description. After that we can break as previously. Okay, so we have written the complete title EJS. It is a basically as the previous EJS. There is nothing. The div h1 and h2 is only for the styling purposes, and the previous EJS is very similar to this. So it is very self-explanatory, like note.title and note.description. So we are literally writing this. It basically get the note and print the title and description. Let's go to the front end and see what is happening there. We will create the root node, we will get the title and description. Okay, I think everything is fine in this code. Yes, everything is fine. Okay, so here we basically interacting with client with the Node.js server, and the Node.js server is returning template to the client, and the database of this communication is stored in the Appwrite. Okay, so if we were returning template, then the data is fetched to Appwrite and then go to the client side with the template. This is basically going by this code. So I also want to add a MeiliSearch for searching the nodes. What is a MeiliSearch? You can go to the URL and build an intuitive search experience in a snap. Like it is a searching tool with a very advanced features. Okay, you can sign up and you can see this dashboard here. Here we can create a new project, name it like my notes, because we are working on note application. Then we will go and create. Okay, then we will go to the documentation. You can see the link here and refer to this. Here it is a very well documented how to use it. So firstly, use remaining package. Like remaining packages, we will need to install by npm install MeiliSearch. Okay, it is installing. Yes, how to integrate this in our web application or web code? You can use const require, because we are using import syntax, so we will use this one. Okay, copy and just paste in our code. Okay, after this we will go and see how to use this. This is how to use in our code. Okay, to use this we first create a function so that the data fetched from the Appwrite go to the MeiliSearch cloud. Okay, so we will create a function called search. Basically we will copy and pasting this thing again, because this is very important, fetching the data from the Appwrite then sending to the MeiliSearch cloud. So fetching is important from the Appwrite, so we are copying and pasting again. We can remove the unnecessary line of code which are required for this functionality, then copy and pasting from the MeiliSearch documentation and fixing some indentation. Okay, so we will provide the host here, the our URL which MeiliSearch is providing us. You can go here and click the on your project name. Here you will get the URL. You can paste it here and provide another argument API key. Okay, and provide its value from your project. Here it is master key. Copy and just paste it here. And client.index, okay, here it is written movies, but we want to give a name of index like relevant to our project, like notes. Okay, we also specify one additional argument like primary key, which was the primary key in our document. So it is id, as we are fetching the document from the Appwrite database. Okay, so we have completed our search function. Then we will write the search route app.get search and a callback function with rec and ref. Okay, then we will call our search function which have written here. Okay, then we will send success to prove that we have successfully executed the search function. We will running our server again, not app.js. Go to our client, go to our localhost 3000. Okay, we will click on search. So firstly, what is MeiliSearch is what is doing? Our data from Appwrite is stolen from MeiliSearch. So we will see in here. After search, it is success, and we will if we have to. Okay, it is given returning success because it is mentioning in the template, and this is the code in which console we are receiving. Then go to text information. We have got 4 documents which are get from the Appwrite database. Basically our app is working as we are expecting. Then we will also want to add some front end UI for searching. So MeiliSearch is providing us. We will copy and paste this in our success template because we will not required. We will copy and paste it here. Okay, and we will remove the index name to nodes, which we are removed in the backend code also. And I also changed some division so that the look is relevant to our project. You can also check it in. Okay, we will change its name to its index name to nodes, and we will refresh and search and see, voila, it is working. We are getting title 1, title 2, etc., which have in the database of MeiliSearch. If we want to search like title, and what can we write here, it basically able to search. We can write title 2. So basically it contains all the things which contain title 2. Okay, if you misspelled anything like uh, anything, so that it also work, because it's an advanced searching thing. Okay, everything is working as we are expected. So basically MeiliSearch is integrated in our web application. So you can use it like add a title to our web page. Means add a title and description. Basically we are creating some document to search in MeiliSearch, like add food, eat food, eating food, and other title and description. Okay, we have added a lot of document. We add another one by vegetables. And what is the description? Bought vegetables. Alright, we will go to the search bar here. We have some document. We also add one more document for the searching purposes. You if you want, you can add as many document as you need. Okay, we will go to search and search for drinking water. Okay, so we are able to search for if we misspell something. We are also able to search